From what we know about the terrible murder of Mr. John Wright, here are the facts Henderson was presented with. The wife was dead asleep to the man while the murder happened. There's no sign of forced entry. A bird had been murdered in the house, and the house was in a poor state. Good Lord. The woman, Mrs. Wright, claimed to have slept through the incident and that she had not seen the suspect. Quickly, Mrs. Wright was arrested and put in jail, while Henderson investigated the house himself. There he met with Mr. Hale, a nearby farmer who told him the lay of things as he was the first person to happen across the scene. Today, Henderson is a somewhat well-known politician in the state. The murder mystery and the release of his book, How I Solved the Wright Murder, helped get his name out there, apparently getting a commendation from the governor. Luckily today, at the Des Moines radio channel, we have an exclusive chance to speak with the man himself. Here's Mr. George Henderson.
Howdy, good to see you again, Bill.
Oh, it's good to see you as well, Mr. Henderson. Now, how may I ask your tale of things? Tell us about the murder investigation and how you solved the Wright murder.
Absolutely. It would be my pleasure. Something like this is quite uncommon on our great lands. The last murder was about 2 years before, with an accident involving wild animals. Warren County is truly a nice place to live.
I don't think anybody's down that, sir.
Well, I would hope not. Now, I was informed of the murder by telegram from the police chief. After that, I traveled there to talk with the officers. I saw Miss Wright. She had been asking about her preserves and seemingly was quite calm. The officers knew her husband, but not her. Clearly, a state of mourning was in town.
She make any fuss about getting arrested?
As far as I know, no. She went calmly.
Oh, thank you.
The sheriff was a tall man, a good man, in fact. I joked his wife was married to the law on account of his record. I knew him quite well as my time in the county office. I contacted him frequently after he introduced me to Mr. Hale, the man who was at the crime scene. He told me these things as follows. He found the house at 8 a.m. He had to go in himself as no one answered the door. Miss Wright calmly told him about the fact that Mr. Wright couldn't be spoken to. In fact, he was dead. Surprised, he went upstairs and there was the body.
How long had the body been there, George?
I believe it had taken place the night before. Now, when I got there, I talked to Wright. They told me the crime scene was upstairs, and so Sheriff Wright and I went up, leaving the woman in the main room. Upstairs, Mr. Wright told me about how the body looked. My God, it was terrible. It had been strangled in the bed, the blanket rolled on the floor, there was not a murder weapon to be found. The sheriff said a few things to me, mostly about the ride over. I had agreed that the farmhouse was hard to reach, the road was terrible shape.
And how far was it to the police station?
Oh, I'd say about a 20-30 minute walk. I had taken the train, so I didn't have much a horse to ride.
Continue, sir. By all means, continue.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Well, anyhow, after that, we went downstairs. They had informed me about this bird that had passed away. I didn't mean to report it. Didn't seem very important to me. After all, the woman brought it to my attention, and they're used to worrying about trifles, aren't they? I mean, I said that at the time. Yeah. Anyway.
Absolutely, sir.
Listen. Yeah, I walked out with the idea that Miss Wright truly was guilty, and the law had to be found. The case was tough, let me tell you what, but the trial was even tougher.
Sorry, Mr. Henry.
Yeah. Yes.
My producer said we're only interested in the scenario itself. If you wouldn't mind giving some final words here.
Well, I'll just say it's a damned hard thing to find a woman guilty like that, but the law will find its way wherever need be.
Thank you, Mr. Henderson. I really do appreciate your words in the interview here today. Good luck if you intend on running this November.
In fact, I do, Mr. Bill. And let me say something else. If you think of committing a crime, don't do it. We're better than you.
Now Mr. Henderson is out of the building. I shall give a few words on the man himself for our listeners at home. He's a short, stout, round man with short, fine hair. Clean shaven, of course. Even in this here radio shack, Mr. Henderson came looking sharp, clean, and smelling like some Chicago exotic perfume. He did mention he was running for office this November, yet I'm not sure if he's going for the re-election or a higher office. If you are a fan of this radio show, all apologies. This will be the first, only, final segment. Goodbye.